Okay, so for this video, I will be discussing how to grow long hair. So this isn't a one-size-fit-all type thing. This is just what I did to grow my hair out. My hair has always kind of, I guess, been considered long. I mean, it wasn't long to me, but some people would consider it long. It always rested around bra straps. Every now and then it'll dip a little lower, a little shorter than that, just because I was a scissor happy individual and I always cut my hair. Never like real cuts, but just would cut off too many inches every now and then. But this is just basically what I did to grow my hair out. So one of the first things that I had to start doing was started taking pictures, because one, I don't take pictures in general. I'm not very photogenic. I don't have social media like that. YouTube is a big step for me. So I don't really take photos like that. But since it wasn't up my face and it was just like the back of my head, I wasn't really all that, you know, weird about it. So it wasn't all, I started to take the photos. I was taking them myself because I just started randomly doing it one day at my job. So I do have photos. They may not be that clear because I didn't expect it to really give me any type of, I didn't know what it was gonna bring. But so here's a photo of when I first started taking the photos. So I think it was probably like 2 years ago in July, or around July-ish area photo. And I was like, okay, you know, my hair was a little greasy. It was an old press. I curled it, and when I used to curl my hair, my curls used to hold. I would only have to curl my hair one time and it'll have some type of wave, a curl, a little swoop at the end. I didn't have to recurl it. So you'll see my hair is a little wavy, a little greasy, but these are the photos that I have. So I'll show a couple, and then after that I started to try and grow it out. And when I did, I was able to see the growth that I was able to gain, or the length I was able to retain. So taking photos was a big one for me, because if I didn't take photos, I would always felt like my hair wasn't growing. So I wouldn't have kept up with my regimen or kept up with the things that I was doing, because I would have felt like they were pointless. So I would say take photos. The second thing I started to do was I started to wear my hair up more. So I just would put my hair in little things like this, like my hair is twisted, it's moisturized, it's in a bun, or I'll wear 2 braids. It started out real rough because I started to use rubber bands later, but in the beginning everything looked real rough, but you know, it was an L I was willing to take. So, but I started to wear my hair up more. Now for some people, I think that they do like the wigs or the protective styles. I don't know how to become a part of the wig community. It's not really a thing for me because I have too much hair. I'm the only one who does my hair. I don't know how to make it look slayed. I ain't trying to get picked on because, you know, it don't look right. I can't do the wigs, the protective styles. I feel like I wear them a little too long. They start to dread up. That's not really what I'm going for when it comes to the health of my hair. So I just do simple things that I can take down throughout the week and re-moisturize and put it back up. So that leads me to the next thing that I started doing. I started to really moisturize my hair. So I was watching like YouTube videos and seeing what other people did to like kind of retain that moisture. Some people honestly do too much for me. I'm not lazy, I just don't have the energy or the time to put in that much work when it comes to my hair. Granted, it's still a lot because, you know, if you have natural hair, it's always going to be a lot. That I have a video with me showing like my length retention, where I put the product in my hair, braid it up, and put it up so I can put it somewhere where people can find it. Another thing that I did was I listened to my hair. When I first started to get on like the natural train, because I would see, so I'm from California, but I went to school on the East Coast. I went to school in Baltimore, and I felt like when I got there, I started to see people do all these styles. Like I seen a little video here and there on YouTube, but I wasn't really too into it because I just knew it wouldn't work for me. So when I got there, I'm seeing all these people do these styles, so then I'm looking more into it because I'm like, dang, I kind of want to do that. You know, I got quite, you know, a head of hair on me, but when I would try it, I would always like try it their way, and I wouldn't like figure out what works for me. Another thing that I did was I kept it cheap in a sense. Like, I don't be going and buying the most expensive things, because if I do that, it's harder for me to stay consistent. So with me buying products that I feel like would go longer, or, you know, just work better for what I'm trying to do, and I don't have to like break my pockets, break the bank in order to do so, then that's what I'm gonna do. So I buy the drugstore stuff like Dove. Like, I get the the big container of conditioner, and I use that. I use that mixed in with other things to create my hair mask, or to create my leave-in that I do to moisturize my hair. And I kind of break a lot of rules when it comes to the whole natural hair thing. Because those don't work for me. So that's one thing that I started to do, was I made sure that I would have a regimen that had products that I could afford, so that way I could stay consistent on it, and so I don't have to keep buying all these things. Another thing that I did was I did more hair masks and deep conditioning. Now, I wasn't very consistent in the deep conditioning and the hair mask. I didn't do it that often. Like, I did those more often than I did before, but I wasn't super consistent with it. When it comes down to doing it the second time in a week or the week following, I just don't be having the energy, because it's a process. You got to put it on your head, and then if my hair is like this, it won't look presentable when I take it off, so I got to retwist everything, and it's just too much. It's too much for me, and I just didn't like it, so I didn't do it. Another thing that I did or didn't do, I didn't trim my hair. Weird, I know, but the thing is, I didn't trim my hair or cut my hair because, and I'll show the pictures, a couple pictures to the side of how my hair was growing without a trim or a cut. And if I did trim, it was like really small. And I never trim my hair like that. Like, usually my trims turn into cuts, which is why I didn't trim, because I knew that I would cut way too much and it wasn't always necessary. I was saving the trims and the cuts for a time later on down the line where I could give it a little bit more shape without taking away from everything that I had gained. And the reason why I feel like this worked for me is I was able to retain the lip, because my hair was always up. But it was up and moisturized. It wasn't just up and forgot about. Like, I didn't just forget about it, leave it all dry and brittle while it was up. But it was up and moisturized, so it would grow, and I didn't really have to worry too much about what the ends looked like. Now, I always thought the ends looked raggedy, but when I would straighten my hair, it looked pretty cool. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. So I was just like, okay, that's good. That's good. I'm here for it. I'm happy. I oiled my scalp more. That's something that I did. I feel like that was very helpful, because my scalp was feeling some type of way, but I started to oil my scalp more. I got my little oil concoction that I be putting on my scalp, and it works fine for me. So it helps with the overall feel of my hair, and it helps for my scalp. I kept my scalp healthy. So oiling my scalp was a thing. So scalp care in general. So I would say oiling my scalp. I started to do more like scalp stimulation, and I felt like the scalp stimulations helped. And I've seen people, you know, do like different type of methods, like inversion methods, like help stimulate scalp. I don't have the energy to be consistent with such a thing, so I don't do that. But what I do, I kind of, you know, feel the stimulation like days later, and I think that that really helps. It kind of brings the blood flow to your scalp, and it helps promote growth, or so I've heard. Another thing that I did was I didn't wash my hair as often. Not that I really wash my hair a lot to begin with, and I feel like when it comes to washing your hair, it's all about what you do and your personal preference. So for example, there's some people like, ew, you wash your hair only once a month or only whenever. They find it to be very gross. It's only when I feel like it's needed. If I got too much buildup, if I have too much product in my hair, if my hair is feeling like gross, which it never really gets to that level. So it works for me. How often, I can't really give like a specific, like, oh, every 2 weeks, every week, every month, because it varies on how my hair feels. What did I do to it within that time frame? I wash my hair when needed, but I make sure that I go on my scalp, because my scalp, you can see when there's some buildup left behind, or dandruff, I don't know what it's called, whatever you want to call it, but you can see when it's there. So when I notice it, then I make sure to run my fingers through it and get through it. I would say included more oils. I never really put oils in my hair because I only wore my hair straight, but as I've been doing this, I put oils go into my deep conditioner, it goes into my moisturizer, it goes it goes onto my scalp. I have incorporated a lot of oils into what I do. Any type of like hair treatment that I'm doing, it got oil in it. Another thing that I did, now this wasn't really by choice, it wasn't. So because my hair is so moisturized, wet, or damp, I have to cover my hair up with like 4 things so that I don't mess up my bedding. It's white, and so I have to make sure that the oils and everything that I put in my hair don't stain it. So one thing that it took me a while to come up with this method, but I feel like this may even contribute to the growth, because I feel like it does, like, you know, kind of like the greenhouse or the whatever other method this may sound like. I started to wrap my hair, but the way that I wrap my hair is what I think may also help with my hair growth. I put on a scarf, just like a little satin scarf. I tie that on there. Then I put on a shower cap. And then on top of the shower cap, I put on like this beanie thing. Let me just grab it. Okay, so this is what I do. Now my scarves are a little gross because they're covered in like oil and whatnot. It's not like anything crazy, but they're always a little damp and they have like a texture to them. But I wrap a scarf over my head and then I put on a shower cap, you know, little cheap shower caps. I don't have too many reusable ones, but I reuse these quite often. And then I put on like this thing. I don't even know where this came from, but it's like it probably has a name, but I just put this on my head. Now in the beginning this was real tight, it didn't work out, it was very uncomfortable, but I guess my head kind of stretched it out. But it's like I don't know, it's kind of like a cap, but like a real long one for like somebody with like a long head. But it is closed here and it is open on this end, and I just put it on top of the shower cap. Okay, and it keeps everything from leaking. Now the only thing with this is that, oh okay, I put the stuff in there. The only thing with this thing is that it has a dye in it. No matter how many times you wash it, how many times, you know, it just leaks of this dye. So I always have to find something to put over it so that it doesn't mess up my bedding, which it did, and I'm trying to get that out now. But this is the inside of a bonnet, so this is basically what it does to like my pillows or my sheets if I don't have this on. So sometimes I use a bonnet, or I just use like a thick beanie. So with all of those things, when I take off everything in the morning, you feel like your hair is kind of like damp, or like it was like hot underneath there. So I think it's kind of doing, I don't know if this if I'm saying the right method, but I think it does like the greenhouse effect. I think greenhouse method, greenhouse, I don't know, but that's what I feel like it does. So I do that throughout the week, and because my hair is still kind of damp throughout the week, it happens each time. But my scalp hasn't had any irritation, and I feel like when it comes to my hair being damp, having the oil has helped me prevent any type of like mildew smell, or my hair getting like, I don't know, moldy or anything like that, even though it's not that deep. Like every other day I'll take it down and like let it breathe and dry out a little bit and then put it back up. But yeah, that's something that I've been doing, and I think the way that I've wrapped my hair has helped me. And I've wrapped my hair, I don't usually wrap my hair, so doing that has helped me be consistent with wrapping my hair, because I don't want to mess up my bedding. I don't want to have sheets that got all type of stains on there. That's why I do that, and I just make sure that it's all wrapped up. And wrapping my hair consistently, I believe, has also helped me, because I sleep a little weird. I dig my head into pillows. If I have a bun, I can't lay a certain way. It's a lot that goes on. So one thing that I would say is I use less heat, but I also use more heat. So I used less heat when it came to straightening, curling, and blow drying my hair, but I used more heat when it came to deep conditioning, hair mats. So I don't think that heat is terrible, but I feel like it worked for me best when it was adding moisture. So I think heat was also important to what I was doing, but I also think that you know, it could cause a problem if you do it wrong. Another thing that I did was I didn't comb my hair as often. So I do comb and detangle my hair because I really don't want no problems when it comes to, I don't need big old pieces and chunks falling out because I neglected my hair and didn't pay it any mind. I did start to like finger detangle more. So when I initially started to like try and grow it out, I was going back and forth between twists and braids. If my hair is in braids, I can't finger detangle. That's just a war that I'm not willing to fight. So if my hair is in these twists though, I can, because it's more pieces. My 2 braids is just 2 braids. It's just half and half of my hair. Not even half and half. It's like 3/4 and 1/4 of my hair. So I don't even go down that route when it comes to, you know, trying to detangle my hair. I still break it into pieces, but at that point, I'm gonna just use a brush. So when it comes to doing my hair in these twists, I'm able to finger detangle more. Just because it's already broken up into pieces, I don't really have to worry about, you know, doing too much. Sometimes I didn't even detangle it. I just kind of rinsed it out, untwisted it, slapped some more product in it, and twisted it back up. But for the most part, because I was wearing the twist longer than the braids, I would say that it was helpful for me to finger detangle. When I saw the most growth in my hair, I would say that I wasn't combing my hair as often. I wasn't combing or like brushing it as often. I was just mainly using my fingers or not doing it at all. I believe that that's all. I know that was like a lot of things, or at least it felt like a lot of things for me because I feel like I've just been talking for too long. But those are all like the little things and the little pieces that I did to help me grow my hair out. But that is all that I have. I don't know if it's going to be helpful or if anybody can relate, but